All right, class, we're back at it with another exciting micro lecture. Today we're going to talk a little bit about stress. Do you have stress? I'm sure you do. Today I want you to ask yourself two questions and think about those questions as we go through and talk about today's micro lecture. Question number one: where does the majority of the stress in your life come from? Think about that for a second. And number two, what does that stress look like? Today's lesson on stress, we're going to identify the 5 main areas where stress comes from, give a couple examples, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do with that information in later's discussion posts. Number 1, stress, environmental stress. Environmental stress is caused by your environment, your workplace, your school, your classroom, or maybe even your home. Number 2, biological stressors. Biological stressors deal with things that happen to your body. Things like a learning disability could be extremely stressful. Could be a mental disorder that you might be struggling with on a daily basis, causing stress in your life. Number 3, behavioral stressors. A lot of times stress comes from just the way that you act. If you have a high-risk behavior and you take a lot of risks and challenges, you might be stressed by those ideas. Number 4, thinking stressors. Thinking stressors come from you just basically having to make tough decisions, using your brain to make those decisions. Things like maybe a test in class, or maybe it's a quiz, or maybe it's a day where you had multiple tests and quizzes. Those fall under those thinking categories. And the last one, number 5, major life changes. A lot of times stress comes into our lives when big things happen. Maybe you move and you change an environment. Maybe it's a loss of a loved one, whether it be death or a divorce. Or it could just be the fact that life in general is throwing you curveballs. Okay? So those are our 5. Now, the second question I asked was, what does that stress look like? You need to think in your life what stress looks like in those different areas. That's where we're going to take this lesson. Tomorrow, in our discussion post, I need you to think about your top 2 stressors in each one of those 5 categories and list for us, and we're going to see where the class stands on our most stressful areas. Future lessons, we're going to talk about how to handle this stress. It's one thing that we got it, and that happens, but the big thing next down the road is how we take care of it. Hey, look forward to seeing you guys again. Think about your stress. I'll look forward to seeing your top 2 in tomorrow's discussion post. See you later. Have a great day.